Hey graduates, wagwan, wagwan. Happy birthday to who? Happy birthday to Jay. Apparently it is the little girl's birthday today, so everybody's wishing her happy birthday, including us on the platform. Happy birthday to Jay. Um and in her honor, this program had to be done today. Yes, it just seems so coincidental that on a day like today is when there are so many um, people who choose to push out their little heads in order to try to silence the actions of advocacy. So we are going to have a discussion about this, and I'm going to share with you some really important information about why it is our Black community is so flipping broken because it's time that we take accountability for how we react to these situations and that we really take a step back and start to reflect on exactly what it is that we say we stand for. Before I go into it, let me show my face so you know you're not speaking to a ghost. um, Let me take the time to hail up the people in the classroom. Right. So Charmaine, hello, hello. Good evening, Steph B. Big up yourself. Celebrate yourself with Sue St. Joy. Connie N. Hello. Bejan Girl, Wagwan. Denise, indeed. Happy birthday for Jay. Let's see who else is here. Hey Norma. Hey sis. What's up? Pottinger Naturals. Big up yourself. I am good. Pauline, big up yourself. Oh my gosh, hang on a minute. My phone is just buzzing like crazy. And just as my renter Don says, welcome one, welcome all to HDK's Live. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to show appreciation to the channel. That's all we ask. Good afternoon, stateside. Wagwan. Right. Margaret Hendricks, Melody Crooks. Good evening to you. Hola, Sharon. Wagwan. Yes, do like up the live. KITY, JM Press. Wagwan. Sonia Murray, big up yourself. Linda Ackerman, hello, hello. Hey, Juju, what's up? And now you know Margaret, whose birthday it is. Dorothy, big up yourself. Tatiana Shelton, big up yourself. All go on, sis. Vanessa, big up yourself. Marsha Lee, who else am I missing? Denise B. Yes, indeed. Justice for Jay. I will not stop say it. Vanessa Grant, big up yourself. Sandy Saudi, big up yourself. Anne Marie, good afternoon. Olivine, big up yourself. V, I see you. Debbie, what's up? Daphne, big up yourself. I'm seeing a few new names, which is cool. Let's see who else is here. I wish so. V, I'm gonna put your little birthday message up. I wish you a very happy birthday, Jay. I've been thinking about you all day, hoping you're having a good day. Indeed. Melody Crooks is saying happy birthday. All these beautiful happy birthday greetings from Lita Travels, Barbara Finley, Wagwan, Professor Gorgeous Lady, long time. Talk Truth, Wagwan. MK is here. Kimone is here. Tanya is here. Trish Dunn is here. Country Life Nice. Charmaine Walker. Simone. Barton Joseph. Sorry. Spice Chick. Yes, I think I've more or less held everybody else. Big up yourself. Millicent Myers. Marcia Israel. I hope I've said it right. Barbara Finley saying happy birthday and keeping up with the war song. Okay. Hmm. It's just fascinating how these people who do not seem to understand the importance of exposing any hidden predators. It's ridiculous to me how they start to become unnerved and seem to think that everything needs to be left up to the authorities and that civilians have no right to get involved. Not at all. I don't think these people live in the real world where victims go all the time without any solution or any justice. They seem to live in some kind of bubble where they genuinely believe that all victims achieve their justice through the systems that exist. I've never heard such a foolish, narrow minded perspective in all my days, especially coming from people who claim to say that they have education. There are so many failures of children by the system. It isn't funny. Children where there has been interception from agents that still return to environments of victimization and still go through the traumatic experiences on a daily basis, despite the fact that officials have been alerted and are handling things. Communities are very important when it comes to protecting vulnerable children. There used to be a time when it took a village to raise a child, and now everybody's gotten caught up in their little selfish world, and nobody seems to care anymore. Um, but what I love about this, and I love about this revelation of these people who originally started saying justice for Jay, but when shit got real, they start to back up, all scared. It tells me that you guys don't want justice. All you wanted to do was to raise your numbers and your visibility in the matrix. Y'all have not got what it takes to be involved in this fight. Now, it's interesting because I've had so many people inbox me about them speaking to an adult that they thought they could trust in order to get some kind of help. And my friends are talking about you. I said, yes, my love, I know about teacher. Oh, okay. All right. Big up to your friends. Um, it's funny how many people have reached out to me and told me about exactly this: victims going to their graves with the secret. Yes. Not telling, because if they did tell, family shame and embarrassment, and also speaking to a trusted adult, thinking they would help only to become silenced. When you silence an advocate, you are equally silencing a victim. And that's what a lot of you do not realize. You don't realize that. When you allow somebody with a predatory nature to gallivant in public and to pass themselves off as normal, then you do not protect other potential victims from this predator. It is important to make them uncomfortable to be around others because they're not safe. So, what you're not going to do is to pass off your own mentality and mindset of silencing to those of us who are strong enough to handle it. Stop putting your own fears on other people. This is not a joke matter. This is a serious matter. There are many predators in positions of power, walking in and out of child-friendly zones, like they are a part of that fabric, in positions of trust, where young people will approach them thinking they are safe. These people exist in every class, every creed, every quality and nature of life. And if we were to adapt your mentality of stopping where the officials' work begins, they would continue to do so. It was interesting because I was doing some reading and I found this fascinating study on child essay of African, Asian, and Caribbean heritage children, written by the Center of Expertise on Child Essay. And when I was looking for the part that had specifically to do with Caribbean people and their mindset around speaking on this taboo subject, I found this fantastic paragraph that I'm going to share with you. Because, over here, we don't talk out of our ass like some of these bloggers, right? We do our stuff based on research. So take a look at this. Let me just make sure y'all can see it and it's nice and big. So if you look at this paragraph, it says racism and the pressure to be strong and silent, because that's what a lot of the mindset that you are hearing out here in social media is about. Oh my God, they're going through this. Let them work it out in silence. Let's not talk about it. Come out of it. Leave the people them alone. Don't talk about the subject. Don't go any further. That's that strong and silent mentality, right? That pressure that they're trying to put. Which can you just imagine if or them put that on their own picnic. So it says the few publications on African Caribbean women found an expectation that victims or survivors should stay silent about abuse within the home to protect the family units. Listen, I hope I listen, And she said, this is exactly what play out in a plain sight as we see it. So I'm going to repeat. The few publications on African Caribbean women found an expectation that victims or survivors should stay silent about abuse within the home to protect the family unit in the face of racism, sexism, and socioeconomic poverty. Furthermore, Black mothers struggled with divided loyalties between wanting to protect their children and not betraying family or community by seeking help. Our experiences with statutory services combined with societal racism contributed to these conflicted feelings. So that's for those who want to live abroad. For us, it would be in the Caribbean, it would be classism more than anything else. And emphasize the important role that extended family networks can play in children's lives by providing access to supportive adults. But let me tell you this. When you are going through something and you reach out to grandma, and grandma herself did get feel up by Mass Joe, and then her mother tell her to shut up, what you think she gonna tell you to do? Because as far as she's concerned, she has gone past this and she managed to live and do her thing. And so the generation of silencing becomes cyclical. And indirectly, it's passed on from generation to generation, particularly of women. You understand? And especially of men. Because where a woman does it to a man, the boys are led to believe that it's an initiation into manhood. It's celebrated as a thing. that they ought to be proud of. When you listen to Jamaican men talk about big women, I touch them up when them little. When I hear them say it with pride. Boy, when me did little, the big woman them did love me off, Big woman them did say, oh, little boy, if I want you see, and rare, all my thing big. Come on now, we know it's real. It's exactly the mindset that they used to have, and they still have it. So I want to know, at what point are you people really going to draw a flipping line with this kind of treatment towards minors? When are you guys going to stop being such damn cowards? Hmm? At what point are we as a society going to actually speak up and speak out against this taboo in our community and stop the damn silencing? And if you're not willing to do the work, shut up and move out the way. How many children must go through this at the hands of their very own father or stepfather? And then people like you will silence it. That's what I want to know. Let me just do this. That is how the cycle repeats itself. Because all of you wish to celebrate the incorrigible or put it under the rug. The moment you do that, you are giving a perpetrator a win. The moment you do that, you are giving a perpetrator a win. And of that, you ought to be ashamed. Why is it that some of you are willing to gas at the mouth, but not willing to actually act? It is a form of silencing. I don't care what you say. You stand for nothing. You're on the borderline. Oftentimes, authorities depend on the public to work with them to stop these things. Did you know that? It's not just about disclosures. Just like how the police will rely on witnesses in a criminal case. There was an article in the Gleaner some time ago. Let me see if I can pull it up. And the article was about the fact that mothers continue to be blind to abuse, not reporting fathers and stepfathers who are basically abusing their children. And although it's an old article, I found it interesting that the mentality still exists. The article was in 2015, right? It's a 2015 article. And this just goes to show that we have a lot of work to do on the mindsets of some of these people. Let me share it with you. All right. I'll make it bigger. So it clearly says, oh, that, and this is a 2015, blind to abuse, mothers not reporting fathers and stepfathers who are essaying their child. The Office of the Children's Registry is reporting an increase in the number of complaints of fathers and stepfathers molesting their children. And it appears that more mothers who are aware of the crime are turning a blind eye. We at the Office of the Children's Registry would have seen an increased number of allegations against parents and more so fathers who would have molested their children. He even noted, Greg Smith, the registrar, noted that mere babies are included in these situations. It is a concern to us, so we are not only focusing on primary school children, we are now going at early childhood. And they are partnering with the Early Childhood Commission because the cases are coming in. An investigator attached to the CDA later charged that in some instances where fathers and stepfathers are abusing the children, the mother is well aware of the crime but does not intervene for a variety of reasons. In one case, a girl was molested from she was a toddler until we removed her at around age 5. Not only her anatomy was damaged from the essay, as when she went to school they detected certain things, but also she had an STI. Look at that. Look at that. Our normal and other people's normal are two different things. And I want you to listen to that line. My normal and your normal are not the same normal. Which is normal to keep your mouth and shut up about something like this. For me, it's not normal. To me, it's sick. Our normal and other people's normal are two different things. And talking to this mother, we found out that she had been molested by her own father. Cycle of abuse. So even though she knew what her baby father was doing, she really didn't think anything was wrong with it because she survived incest. It is somebody on the outside. It is for somebody on the outside to come in and counsel with them and say, no, we can't allow this. Children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison believes it is a feature of the Jamaican society where, having been abused as children, some women become accepting of abuse as a part of development. Well, yeah, grow breast and bottom and hip now, the man them a go look you. How much are we hear that? I've never heard it. Thank the Lord. My mother never. But I have heard mothers say it to their daughters as though it is acceptable. And so we'll have comments such as, it happened to me and I came out fine. I didn't die. It's a part of life. This too shall pass. And he or she will decide when they're adults. Sometimes there is also an economic factor where the woman believes that if she does anything to stop it, the family will be jeopardized financially. Financial abuse. So if you know, so the man are bringing in money and are bringing in a bread, you don't want to stop that bread because it might touch your picnic. Therefore, you put up with it. I'm just giving you the scenario, the understanding of the kind of things that can happen in an environment where predatory behavior is allowed to be flaunted as normality. Or the woman thinks, if I allow him to continue to have his way with her, then chances are he will stay around and she will continue to have one extra person to put food on the table. It is a sad reality, but it exists. Some parents who were abused as children become desensitized to the exploitative and predatory behavior of adults around them. There are many parents who, because of their own history, become hypervigilant, mistrustful, and overprotective of their kids as a result. Our children are often abused by the ones we trust the most: neighbors, pastors, teachers, relatives. That's why the perpetrator has access. Access. Listen to that word, access. When a perpetrator has access, it's like a kid in a candy store. Hmm? If nobody was to out here making you guys aware of the fact that listening not supposed to day or so, I wanna see a video push out with him there, they say, uno would have said, okay, they're back together, hallelujah. You know how much people message me? Well, make me know, say, listen, we would have been willing to celebrate that, not realize the war go on. Access. No, I'm not going to come out here and talk about that. I'm not going to come out here and talk about those things. And I'm not going to come out here and talk about the fact that the little girl picture the pan him phone, pan him lap. The way him can't stop look. Y'all sick my stomach, you know. That's also a fear of the perpetrator, which is a powerful silencer. Coercion and threats can be intertwined with the desensitizing effects of grooming, the gentle introduction of adult material, the concept of keeping a shared secret, systematic and persistent violation of physical boundaries. This as special treats. Somehow, no, will forever be blinded. And this is why we have to keep talking about it, and we have to ensure that the public is aware. Hmm? We have to ensure that the public is aware. Look out for these things. It could be happening right under your noses and you don't realize it. When you see your daughters or your sons coming with new things that you never buy them, some of you mothers are so happy for the help. You see your son walking with a transport bag. You know him now work. You know him now also. You know better ask him where him get it from. And you know say, I Mr. Marshall. I check him after school and I care him if I go do him what I do with him and give him things in return. And because him come in with a Jan Sport bag, when you couldn't afford to buy him, you're all right with it. Margaret, it's like you are in sync because I'm about to share a story with you. Very good. So I know say you're a graduate, you know. You're thinking. Let me tell you something. These behaviors are not just about African and Caribbean women being silent. It's not just about, mothers being silent because so far it's like being put on the side of just women, right? Although there are a lot of single mother households where these cases, a very high percentage where these cases have manifested because usually the partner is not necessarily the biological partner, is a boyfriend or a stepdaddy. But there are a rising number of cases where the perpetrator is the biological dad as well. As we know, we've discussed this before. But I want to share with you another case that happened in 2024, which was about the church. Yeah, the church being silent, the church not standing up for vulnerable children. And this time we're talking about boys. Yeah, boys. Now, I want you to see this because the Black community, as you know, exists in the diaspora. We are everywhere. We're not just in Jamaica. We're everywhere. And as long as you are of Caribbean descent, you are a part of this diaspora. So this took place in the UK. And this particular article, it's written on the 29th of October. And it was a Seventh-day Adventist church that failed to act on child SA abuse claims. So when you see, and I'm going to tell you something that institutional racism actually does. Once it's a black matter in a big foreign, it is of less priority. You better believe it, as much as it's a crime. Because you're going to hear in this story how on several occasions, professionals that it was left to were involved, and not one backside thing come of it. So, a Channel 4 News investigation has seen evidence that the Seventh-day Adventist Church was warned repeatedly about Donald Kelly's crimes over the course of 3 decades. How long? 3 decades. A decade is 10 years, 30 years. Okay? How many adults have passed through those times? Children growing into adults. Here is one of his victims speaking out on Channel 4. And he says, it felt like I was his possession, and that's a man, you know. The Seventh-day Adventist Church failed to act on information that a prominent member of the church was a pedo and essaying young boys for decades. Evidence seen by Channel 4 News suggests. Dr. Donald Kelly groomed and essayed schoolboys from the 60s onwards, with multiple victims describing how Kelly used his power and standing within the church to abuse freely. Power to abuse freely. Hmm? And when you have power, you're in a position of leadership and a position of what? Influence. Influence. When you're in a position of power and influence, what do you have? Access. But you fools will never talk about that. Because you seem to think that influence and power exists purely within 4 walls. Narrow-minded, linear thinking, I tell you, those are the silencers. A Channel 4 News investigation has seen evidence that the Seventh-day Adventist Church was warned repeatedly about Kelly's crimes over the course of 3 decades. The Metropolitan Police, listen, you know, this are the pow, you know. The Metropolitan Police informed the church in 2009 about allegations against Kelly, while a senior UK church leader was told in 2020 that Kelly was a predatory pedo. Kelly was questioned at least once by police before he died of cancer in November 2022. No justice. So did you hear the police was involved? Oh. Did you hear church leaders were told? The church, under pressure from a group of victims, commissioned an independent. Want to hear the word? Independent. Which means they were not official. They were not assigned by the law. They were not professionally trained. They were victims who decided to use their voice. Just imagine when you don't. That's the role of an advocate. But I not go talk about that. The church, under pressure from a group of victims, commissioned an independent investigation into Kelly's abuse in February 2023, but is still to release the findings. Then put pressure upon the church, and the church still silent. In a statement released through lawyers, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the UK told Channel 4 News that it was only informed of the allegations in late 2021, adding that the church recognizes the appalling and lasting harm that Donald Kelly has caused. The church said that it takes safeguarding reports seriously and was reflecting carefully on the lessons to be learned, concluding, "We are appalled that this one man's actions have caused so much suffering to so many people." And you can just imagine how much collection the little dirty people them collect from the boys, their parents. And them not even talking about compensation. How that man them off on the parents their money and putting them big guts. Hmm? While him there they exploit their kids. Channel 4 News has spoken to 5 men who say they were essayed by Donald Kelly. One was just 7 years old when he was. 2 victims have waived their legal right to anonymity to speak about what they suffered at the hands of Kelly and their fight for accountability from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Michael Smith was 15 when Kelly, then a recent Oxford University medicine graduate, listen, I don't know, Dunceman, this, arrived at his family home in the late 1960s and invited him to tour Oxford University with him. He took me around the university, showed me the operating theatres during the day, and then in the evening he booked us into a bed and breakfast. All that the mama there was sent for our picnic. Into that situation, out of trusting a stranger, because no matter how much he might lead your church, you don't know him. Your child under age. Kelly proceeded to S.A. Smith in the middle of the night. I was ashamed. See me? See him there? I was ashamed, he told Channel 4 News. I thought, I'm 15 and this happened to me. I didn't tell anybody else in my family. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my mother. To this day, I still haven't told my mother. And he's told Channel 4. Mothers probably all died without the knowledge. Andrew Cadogan was 14 when Kelly deployed the same tactics that he had used a decade earlier when abusing Michael Smith. The lights went off and the man just jumped on me. He described his 1976 assault. It was like I was his possession. You belong to me. This is mine. This is mine. A sense of entitlement. Kelly continued to abuse Andrew over the course of the weekend in Oxford. My mom came home from work and she looked at me. She went, "How was your trip?" The first thing I said to her was, "Mom, if this man comes to take Paul, Jeffrey, or Peter anywhere, they're my younger brothers. Do not allow him. Do not allow him." Victims said Kelly's abuse of young boys was common knowledge within the church at the time, with another prominent church figure close to Kelly calling a meeting with young boys as the rumors grew. At the end of this meeting, when everybody spoke, that's when he said, "If I hear any of you saying this, you will have me to deal with," Michael Smith recalled. Kelly would also continue to follow Andrew Cadogan after his ordeal. One of my friends said to me, "Andrew, that man is looking at you." Donald Kelly was standing there looking at me playing football with a big smirk on his face, gloating because he got away with it, because no police not arrest him, because he didn't go to court, because nobody can prove he did it. He comes and he smiles in the face of the public, and that is the mentality that some of you silencers would love to see with your sick selves. For predatory men to come and grin and act like all is well. I'm not going to depress you guys so much because I know that this is triggering and it's quite an intense article. But I just wanted to highlight how silencing affects people. How silencing stops the discourse, stops the engagement, stops victims from finding a space where they're safe to speak. Because some of you are nosy and interfering and just want your name to be heard alongside mine. As though you think me as some blasted celebrity. I am not. I am simply standing up for what is right. That's why I say don't call me name in our mouth. Talk about what you're talking about. If you truly want justice for Jay, if you truly want justice for little girls who are silenced, talk about that. Because that is the priority and that is what matters. Not how I do my business. Too enough. There are different levels of advocacy and there are different levels of social justice. And some are not ready. Hmm. So many continue to be silent. And when children are not allowed to speak out and their circumstance has become of public nature, something good has to come of it. Something good has to come of it. We can't just keep harping on what he did or what they're saying he did. We have to talk about how to go forward, how to heal, how to restore, how to ensure that this case is not multiplied, how to react if you get a disclosure. What should you do? Who should you go to? What it is that perpetrators do to condition your minds into accepting their behavior as normal. Hmm? Baby, you know, say I know my pitney man. I just little temptation, man. You know, see her bottom fat. And she just a walk up and down in her whole heap of tights. You have to talk to your daughter. Because say me is a man, you know, me like woman, you know. And she wanna feel me picnic. When she a walk up and down in them because short shots there. You know, must think some man ever get tempted. Talk to your daughter, man. Make her cover, put on some big clothes around big man. Eh? Half a me and a fish. Then it becomes about the child. Victim blaming. Switching the responsibility of care and protection to the child. The child must protect herself while the parent is protecting the man. How much are we hear that? What if we hear that? Hmm? Hmm. We have got to change the mindset of the Jamaican people. We have got to listen, there was a time, where you do certain things in certain garrison community, the whole of the queen of them have you, and just a box your about so, and you have to left or run away. Them still do it for incidences of graping when men grape women. But somehow, when it come to a big man, I look a young girl, we under the age of consent. As long as the little girl is cajoled and encouraged to come along, it's not frowned upon. It's not considered disgusting. So me like them young, fresh and green. I like just what I'm seeing. It's written into our lyrics. It's written into our music as though it is normal. So when you take a predatory male that has grown up in an environment like that and you plant them in a big fire, you think so the mindset go, or is it still there? Some of you people are messing with the wrong fight, and the sins of these predators will visit your doorstep. Because when we are speaking up, we are not just talking about Jay. There is a bigger issue at hand. So, those of you who are busy going, it's not just about the little girl, you're damn right. It isn't just about the little girl, it's about all those silenced little girls. It's about all those underrepresented little girls, some of whom are walking around as very scarred women, some of whom are up and down in your silly little comments saying, don't know, stop talk. Justice for Jay has grown into justice for juveniles. You hear? Boys and girls. Let me just pin this Grand Rising. Read that. Her silence in unison since Friday proves so much. So when you try to use scare tactics, fear tactics to stop what we as advocates have to say, please keep them to yourself. We have no interest in hearing it because it's exactly that same mechanism that predators use to silence victims and allow them to take advantage of little ones for so long, for years upon years upon years. If you ever talk, you see, I take your 3 pints and I take your mother with you. Hey, you don't know, so me have beer bad man friend. Eh? You don't know, so me will send somebody come at your house for you. You don't know, so me send somebody come at your school and meet you after school and then can't find your body and go bury in a shallow grave, girl. You better not talk here. You people don't know who us as bloggers know. What protective mechanisms exist for us outside of the parameters of the internet. And it's not a matter of being untouchable. No, because all of we can get touched. But there's always going to be a paper trail that points a very good finger. And you'd be surprised how many other people are keeping an eye. Some of us are more networked than you can even imagine. Stay out of the works if you cannot handle it. Yeah, you're just realizing what the song was saying. Yep. It's said all the time, you know? It's said all the time. She was only 16. She was only 16. Hmm. Let me tell you something. We have to be careful about how we handle this. We know. And it's one thing to give a word of advice that's about care and concern for the safety of those who are advocates for victims like this. That is fine and that is allowable. But when they come out here with bully tactics and scare tactics and venom, they are trying to oppress the discussion. They are trying to stop the revelations. They are trying to stop the exposure. They don't like that the traction. They don't like that it's not eyes on them. They don't like that they are incapable. Because instead of it being about making sure that predatory men are not given a platform to celebrate their nonsense in the eyes of the public where other children can gain access and other barely legal girls. It is about who's doing the talking. Petty in the face of things. We have many cases where intervention has taken place. Organizations have been contacted and nothing has come of it. But what happens if a community is aware? Let me see if you can answer that question. What happens when a community is aware? When a community is aware, everybody on guard. Everybody is on guard. It in itself protects so many kids. So many. So many kids. And you know what, graduates? If I die tomorrow, God forbid, please keep me here until I see my grandkids. But if I die tomorrow, I die very proud that I have informed my Jamaican people, that I have helped to enlighten the way some of you think, because the amount that messaged me and told me that at first they would have turned a blind eye, they would never have spoken about it. But now, when they see how many are now opening up about their experiences and how silencing has destroyed them, they now understand the importance of the work. So, if this case evolves into something that rescues and saves and gives a healing balm to others who have been through it, who is going through it, that's something I'm very proud to stand by. And everything else is noise. Hmm. Everything else is noise. And everyone else, noisemakers who don't get it. So I'm sure a lot of you are waiting to hear if I've had any update from on the case. I haven't had it yet. The files have to be pulled from the state attorney's office, and then obviously the investigator needs to go through to see what can be shared, what can't be shared, etc., etc. So we will wait. We will have patience. Well, that's just with regards to that. But if she finds that certain things can't be exposed, so be it. I'm not going to put her in any precarious position. You understand? But I haven't really got any need to come out here and say, oh, he's doing this or he's doing that, because it's mute. You understand? So there's no reason. I'm not here to beat him into the ground until he's 6 foot under. But what we will not tolerate is the lies and the pretense on such a serious matter. Hmm. Yes, she's a wonderful child. Absolutely wonderful, right? It was a conversation that needed to happen. Thank you, HTK, for being persistent, and I always will be. Much to the disgust of some who would rather I shut up and go into a corner. It's never going to happen. And really and truly, the people who want me to be silent are in a minority. I've even seen platforms who literally cannot stand a lady that I absolutely celebrate celebrating what I am doing. So that goes to show you that this matter transcends which camp you're in. But some of you are still stuck in that mentality and that mindset of tribalism without seeing the bigger picture. And it goes to show you that deep down we're all humans. And deep down, most of us really and truly want this kind of taboo out of our culture and out of our society altogether. And are well aware of the fact that systems often fail victims. And not just go stick your head in the sand and let the law do its thing. One of the things that is let me tell you something, black people. You think that the law like all of you? One of the things that are a priority. You think that just because you're a citizen somewhere that means you're just as important? Stay there, go and fool on yourself. You understand? Stay there, go and fool on yourself. Exactly, Jada. It's not my job. The internet will do what it does. You know, say, when name come back on the scene. When name? Ramesh. When you go talk about that? If you're not dry for topics. At least, you see, this is why there's a big difference between somebody like Ramesh and that the man there. It's not, it's apples and oranges. You can't even really compare it. Right? Because Ramesh name can't call run up pitney. But Ramesh know when to come down and to go work on himself and focus on himself and him development and what he need to do. You understand? And accountability, not stepping away. Okay, we never too like the apology. It was kind of written in a, corporate kind of leaning way, but at the end of the day, he still took accountability. He never once went, I didn't do it. The glove don't fit. He never did that. And so for that, may not stop rating him, I may not have rated what he did, but on top of that, that man has done a lot of good. And he can get time to restore himself and come back in the right way and put his best foot forward. That is somebody that's not tone deaf. That's somebody who read the room. Read the blasted room. I want mothers to understand that if something like this is happening in your household, the scars are forever. They never, ever, ever go away. They will destroy how your girls develop into women. They will destroy how they perceive relationships. They will destroy how she views intimacy. They will destroy her ability to trust. And it could also destroy her love for you. Fathers are more likely to go chop up a man if them hear say somebody touch them daughter. Yes, it likely forget violent. You understand? But for some reason in our community, mothers are the ones who are more likely to be silent, which is why I'm beseeching you. No make no man hold no money, no food, no nothing over your picnic head and over your head to gain access, to be there day in, day out, doing whatever he pleases. And I can assure you that is one threat that will not work. Set up your phone and record them blouse and skirt if you need to. Because often it's lack of evidence that stop things from going forward and stop them from get arrested. Use entrapment. It's still admissible when it comes to those cases. Hmm. And do what you need to do and get them out. Do what you need to do and get them out. But whatever you do, don't put up with it. And don't make nobody buy on a picnic soul. Don't make nobody buy on a picnic soul and destroy on a picnic future. You hear what me I say? No things are worth it. No status is worth it. So when people are out there making up noise and talking about she doing it for clout and you guys are a bunch of boy is like dry bones. That me I go call on a dry bones. Because you guys don't know how deep this goes. And all you guys watch is the foolishness. That's why I say, hey, that's why I say it all the time. We're graduates for a reason, not a season. And most, if not all of the one that where I make them stupid comments, then none of them don't follow me. And of that, I'm very grateful. Because I don't harbor fools. I don't suffer fools lightly. It's always been something I've been told from I was a child. Okay, you not suffer fool lightly, you know? Me not have no patience for idiot people. That is definitely in the genes. Yeah, it's like it's a competition for them. I mean, how the hell would you, why would you want to be competing in the arena of exposing molesters? That's something that everybody should be unified about. Everybody should be on board about. You know how I am grateful for all those other YouTube channels when no stop drop the subject vibes, studio Tashel, to name a few. Mm? And I've been seeing the tags. Some people have been tagging me in topics to do with it. I am working my way through, going through all of them, right? Even smaller YouTube channel, just over 1K subscribers, some have two, three, and them I do them thing. I talk about the subject. Me appreciate the whole of uno. All of uno I appreciate. Because the more we keep this discussion going, is the more the government of Jamaica will realize that this problem needs to be addressed because the mindset is being migrated. And we see the environment. Yo, no, sister Trump are going to schools now. Oh, no, sister Trump are going to schools now. Figure take out undocumented people. Here's the man say that if schools do not check whether or not you are undocumented, they can be fined and be a problem. So once upon a time under Biden, schools don't even ask if you have your stay or not. Them just register your picnic. We don't see what go on. Only na say a whole pound I got end up back pound years back in Jamaica if you no undocumented and no citizenship. Hmm? And down there, although we have some that have migrated and taken their little pedo behavior in a foreign, no say down there, them a run up and down. And you have to go end up and go back with your little girl picnic in them place there. Because people are keep quiet about the nastiness them. So if you guys don't believe that this is a big problem, that's your preke. Statistics tell us otherwise. Where is that document? Hang on a minute. Because I could have sworn I pulled up a document that spoke about the percentage. I must have closed it down. I put it in my community thing. When I found this article, guys, and it spoke about just how many in terms of numbers. Hold on. I it this? Is it this? Large scale island wide survey conducted between 2018 and 2019 in Jamaica among 7,182 children between the age of 9 and 17 explored various forms of maltreatment. Let's see. 15% of the respondents reported experience of diverse types of sexual violence by an adult living at home. At ETS, 35% was by an adult from outside the home. Hmm? These are proper papers. Like really and truly breaking it down. And I can put the link in the chat because this is for those of you who are academics here who are looking for information about things like this. That's the kind of stuff y'all need to be reading. And for those of you who claim you're educated, go into that, go read it. And you will realize how serious this J for J movement is. It's not no get. It's not no chat and hot here thing. And that's why those of you have minuscule IQ, I don't even look for no. Because wagan bad a man can go good. You understand? Right? Because while some, no matter how book bright they are, try to open their mind and realize that we're dealing with something serious here, some are just caught up in their fields and their personal vendettas. That's why I can't communicate with them. I can't communicate with people who cannot think strategically. That's why I always tell you people, I am an independent. Yes, I may big up and whatever, but I am independent in how I approach things. I'm telling you, say, before the news break, I invited CMR for an interview. He came on here and he ran his mouth and said, "Oh, if any of you want to invite me for an interview, I would speak to you. I'm approachable." I did invite him and he didn't come because he knew that if him step in at this classroom, the drilling him would I get, he would never be able to skirt around the issue the way he did on the fix. Never. There was a YouTube tonight. I would get one for you to speak louder. If there was a YouTube tonight. Oh, listen, guys. We're not going to stop with the discussions. We're not going to stop talking about pressing issues that are affecting our community on here. My page has grown. There was a time, when it was all about the baga baga and the rere. Because really and truly, when you come out here, that's kind of the thing. That's the traction. That's what pulls the algorithms. Rere. But I have decided to go the road less trodden, and it works for me. Find what works for you guys. This works for me, and of that I am not apologetic because this is something I am passionate about. Passionate about. And it just so happens that purple has always been my social media color. So yeah, passionate about it. It has crossed my mind to I mean, it's a long-term thing, but to to ever if I should ever retire back to Jamaica to set up a home where girls can heal. Man, that would be something, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be something, graduates, if I could make that happen? That would be everything. It would. Counseling and everything, you understand? A safe place where they can develop talents, where they can study, read without disturbance from predators. But I guess it's just me thinking big. It's just me thinking big. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for attending a touch of class with HTK. I appreciate you always showing out. I appreciate you guys always being here and supporting my channel. Please, please, please do hit the like button. And if you are new to my channel, ensure that you subscribe and double click that bell to make sure you're notified whenever I go live. I appreciate all of you, my supporters. Please drop those purple hats as we exit the live, saying happy birthday to Jay. And, we hope that she has a wonderful celebration. And I have no doubt that Chrissy is going to make sure that that happens, right? Nothing wrong with thinking big. That is true. You can, and we will contribute. Honestly, guys, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. And I am that kind of person that when I put my mind to something, I make it happen. Big up yourself, Vibe Studio. Big up your nice, clean self, my brother. Is in. You will have our support if you do retire to Jamaica. Thank you so much. All right, let's do it. Oh my God, you guys. All right, then. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you guys once again. And this is your girl, Hetty Chike, and I'm out. Bye bye.